Starting next year, Fairfax County Public School students will be able to skip classes for civic engagement. The school district giving 7th through 12th graders one excused absence per year to participate in protest. Independent Women's Forum Beverly Hallberg is with us, along with Democratic strategist Nathan Rubin, going to discuss this. Nathan, I want to start with you because I understand you think this is a great idea.
I do think this is a good idea, and Charles, let me tell you why. First of all, there's significant evidence from political science research showing that once a citizen becomes engaged and actually turns into a voter, they're far more likely to participate in the political process. Now, these students, grades 7 to 12, they don't have a vote in the formal electoral process, but they can make their voices heard through community engagement like these examples here.
Beverly?
Well, I think students already can be civically involved. Parents can and have taken their children out of school to do a wide variety of things, such as volunteering, such as campaigning, yes, even joining protests. But here to me is the underlying problem. It's that there is a trend in K-12 education where administrators think that schools should do more than just educate and encourage children. In this case, thinking that they should be politically involved. Parents should be involved in that. And so even the board, one of the board members said that this is a dawning of the new day and student activism. My concern is that schools are expanding their role to be as a parent, and this is something parents should be working on with their children.
You know, Nathan, I got a feeling this is going to end up being one of those genies they hope they can put back in the bottle when the students maybe turn on the school district and say, why not 2 days? Why not 3 days? This issue is too important. We need a week.
Well, I think, again, this is only one day out of the year, and I think about this a lot. How do we get younger people more involved in the political process? And I have to say that young folks getting organized, getting active, there is a long history of young people moving America forward in this type of development. If you think back to the women's suffrage movement, to the civil rights movement, to the Vietnam War protests, to the Women's March, the Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, these are driven by young people getting involved, making their voice heard. And I think this could be an exceptional education opportunity if they go back into the class, tell their classmates about their experience, what they might have learned. I think this is a fantastic opportunity.
Sounds like you think it might be a great recruiting tool.
For who?
For the teachers.
I don't know. Which political party might benefit the most from that? Beverly,
we should all want more people active in the political process. I don't think we should turn anyone away. In a nation where 50% of eligible voters don't participate at all, let's get them all in there. This is nonpartisan. It has nothing to do with right versus left.
It is good for children to get involved, but here's the question. Do we think that the teachers in Fairfax County are going to encourage the students to go to a pro-life march, or is it going to be more of a climate change march? Again, I think this is the concern, not only that students are going to want to play hooky, because I think if I was young and this was there, I would say, well, what protest can I be involved with so I can skip school? But I think it's the schools usurping the type of authority and power they should have. Let's teach kids, let's encourage kids. But when it comes to political activism, I think we should keep teachers and schools out of that.
Nathan?
You know, I disagree. I think, yes, we have seen groups like March for Our Lives, Fridays for Future, these big climate strikes, school walkouts over gun violence. But again, these are the issues that those young people care about. So why are we not encouraging them to then go out and make their voices heard since they are unable to vote and actually participate in electoral politics?
Here's the thing, though, and again, there's so many things in this country that we want young folks to participate in, and it feels like they get the green light again. To Beverly's point, these will be primarily about climate change and other issues that would be far left, far progressive things. There won't be anything where I can see.
Climate change should be nonpartisan, Charles.
Well, maybe there's a couple of debates there. Climate change, how much you believe in it, and B, how much are you willing to sacrifice? Should we tax ourselves into oblivion and let China become the #1 preeminent country in the world in order to appease climate change? Those things matter. Those things are important from an economic point of view as well as a philosophical point of view. But Beverly, I am concerned about the idea that already our public schools, listen, if we're being honest about it, they have become incubators for the Democratic Party, for progressive parties. And I hate to say it, but the socialists have dug so deep into high schools, now they're going into elementary schools. So I'm worried about this stuff.
Yeah, it started with higher education. Now it's working its way down on a lot of different issue areas. Again, the school board, one of the members members seem to gloat about the fact that they're going to be able to encourage political activism. And once again, what type of activities are they going to encourage? What I do like that schools have is when you think about student body president, people being able to vote, kids being able to vote for who their student body president should be, there are ways in the school for them to demonstrate what voting is like, what civic engagement is like. But when it comes to what children should do outside of the school, that's where parents should be involved. So again, I think civic engagement is a good thing. I want children to be involved, but I don't think it should be school administrators deciding or encouraging them on what protests they should attend.
All right, let's leave
All
it there.
this policy says is that they get one day off a year and the parents have to excuse the absence. So if these kids are passionate about being pro-life or pro-Second Amendment, they have the opportunity to do that.
And they already have the ability to do that.
If they're passionate about church, if they're passionate about other things, stay in school. Can't leave it. Don't go out. We know what's going on here, but that's cool. Like I said, you may at one point want to put this genie back in the bottle. We'll see. Beverly, Nathan, thank you both very much. And you know how they say it never rains in Southern California? Well, how about snow? It's here and it's spreading. Ho.